Very good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for your time, Professor. Whenever we catch up, I have very interesting conversations with you, and it's always been very insightful. So thank you so much for the time, and it's a privilege.
Pleasure to have you with us this morning.
It's a privilege for me to do this podcast with you. So thank you so much. Professor, you have moved from the full-time professorship from IIM Bangalore and taken a portfolio of roles across different IIMs. So is anything surprised you in the second innings of your career?
Not really. In fact, if I look at my professional career, I was making aircrafts from 1978 till 86. And when I was there at HAL Nasik division making the MiG aircrafts, I did my part-time MBA and became a part-time teacher. And quite enjoyed the whole experience of being a part-time teacher as well as being a full-time professional making the MiG aircrafts. So when I moved over and then of course I had moved to Bangalore in 1994 until 2014. When I retired, that's the time I became an adjunct faculty for IIM Bangalore and few other institutes like IIM Amritsar, Sambalpur, Raipur, Ranchi, Rohtak, Academy of HRD. And I quite enjoyed it because I had always seen myself as a teacher, as a facilitator who facilitated the group of people to learn something which is important for them. And thanks to the technology, I think it facilitated much more. Particularly during the COVID period, we learned that online can be as effective as being in the class.
So, Professor, when you look back over the academic and your consulting journey, is there a moment or one experience where it reshaped your thinking about leadership?
I had always seen that the guys who come through as leaders to me are the people who help me to grow. And help me to grow by identifying my unique competencies, creating a space in terms of redefining my roles so that I can use those competencies effectively in my existing role. And then based on my competencies and my aspirations, they always created new possibilities in terms of giving me new roles, responsibilities, and in a way facilitating me to grow up. I had seen that very much at HAL. When I was on the shop floor responsible for supply chain, I can very vividly remember my general manager who called me and said, "Okay, Agarwal, you have been working for last 5 years at rotable shops. What is that you learned? What more you want to learn?" And then he discussed the possibility of me being transferred to final assembly and the flight hangar, and the fact that my general manager was listening to me for 45 minutes made me feel very good, and I was quite ready to move over to there. When I moved over to HAL Staff College again, I moved to Bangalore on 19th April 1986. 21st, I was coordinating a senior executive program, and for 8 years, there was all interesting work. So if leadership is about being observant of the team members, knowing them in terms of their competencies and their aspirations, and then creating possibilities for them to use their competencies to the extent possible. And that's what gives a sense of joy in the present. They create performance, and then it becomes easier for the leaders to give them bigger responsibilities
and opportunities. That's great. So, Professor, you have extensively published on leadership and coaching. What would be one research insight that you find yourself often reminded when you talk to leaders in the organization?
Whenever you want to make a difference to somebody, you should always start from that person. What are his challenges? What are his opportunities? What is that he is looking forward to learn? Whenever I teach either to executives who are full-time practicing managers or even an MBA student, I always like to start from what is their learning agenda.
Okay.
And toward that end, they complete a very extensive pre-course assignment, which creates space for them to reflect. What is my role? What is the performance matrix for my role? What challenges I experience? And in context of my performance matrix and the challenges experienced by me, what is that I'm looking forward to learn? Similarly, what are the organizational, changes which are required? What is holding back the organization to achieve those changes? What is that the organization need to learn? And what is that you need to learn?
Okay.
And the third question I ask them to complete is, how do you see yourself after 3 years? What new bundle of competencies are required to make it a success?
Okay.
And what is that you like to learn it? So starting from the role and your present context in terms of your organization and your aspirations for yourself. I think with these three aspects of self, anybody and everybody is able to very clearly define what is that they need to learn. And then my task as a facilitator, whether I'm in the classroom as a teacher for the MBA programs or for the practicing managers, becomes so much more easier. I find that there's a lot of pull from the participants in the class in terms of getting answers to the questions which are important for them. And that makes my task much more simpler. And I like to believe that because they come prepared, the impact is much higher.
Yeah. And then they get the insights on the situations what they wanted to discuss.
Right. In fact, to the extent they are consciously aware of their challenges, opportunities in learning agenda, they become seeker of knowledge. So there is a lot of pull for learning.
Okay.
And as a result of which, they are able to get answers to the questions which have been raised by them a number of times.
Okay.
And they feel good about it.
Okay. Professor, talking about leaders and leadership, in your experience, how do you really distinguish someone who holds a leadership title from someone who really thinks and behaves like a leader?
Essentially, how much time one is spending with the team,
Okay.
in terms of being with them, understanding their context, and being concerned about helping them to grow up. If the team members feel that this person is concerned about me and my growth and my challenges, you emerge as a leader. I can very vividly remember HL Nasik division. Late in January, February, I was there in the flight hangar, 12 o'clock in the night, and I was going back towards the factory side. My general manager came that time and he said, "Where are you going, Agrawal?" And I said, "I was going to the machine shop complex to bring some cotton vest because my shop requires. I was responsible for supply chain." He said, where you will go on this cold, on this two-wheeler, you be here, I'll bring the cotton vest for you. Now my general manager at 12 o'clock in the night tells me that you don't travel on your two-wheeler, I'll go and bring the cotton vest for you.
Yeah.
He was symbolically saying that I'm concerned about you, I'm happy that you're here, let me help you out it. Now when as a leader, you look at your participants as somebody who is providing extension to your being, I think you do your best towards making their life better. In fact, facilitate them to experience success. So a leader is the one, to me, who facilitate the team members to experience success.
Yeah, that's very well put, Professor, because I've also experienced this, because not only with my direct reports, but also the skip level meetings that I have with the team members in the members in the team. So that was been very helpful for them, and that whole experience is very powerful. And the team members gets that reassurance that there is someone who's concerned and supportive for my success. As you rightly said, the facilitating their success. So great. Professor, some leaders might be so busy and they might say that I don't have time to slow down and have some coaching sessions. How would you convince a chronically busy leader to take time for coaching and to help him understand that it is not a luxury, but it is a strategic necessity?
I suppose we should start with that leader and ask him that what facilitated you to experience success? And after maybe a couple of minutes, when he has spoken about the kind of contribution he himself is making it, hopefully we'll come to a point where they'll say that I facilitate my team members to great performance, and my performance is my contribution plus my team's contribution. And that is the point where we can say that if you listen to your team members, if you help them to acquire a new bundle of skills, if you provide them some more resources which they require it, and just listening to them and making them feel that I care about you and you are important for me, I think can go a long way to help them experience something very positive. And they will respect you, they will like you, and by implication they will do whatever is required for the whole team to experience success.
Okay.
So the starting point is making the leader aware that your success depends upon the success of your team members.
So it is,
and hence it is your responsibility to be with them, listen to them, coach them, enhance their competencies and capabilities.
Great. Yeah. Professor, what if I ask you, what will one uncomfortable truth about leadership that youngsters or young managers doesn't often hear about, what would that be?
Their reluctance to deal with uncertainties. See, when I go to somebody and ask them, what are your challenges? What that you want to learn? He may surprise me. And I believe that as a leader, I must have answered for all the questions. Being prepared to be vulnerable, occasionally being able to say, I understand your challenges, but I may not be able to help you out. Your requirements are very genuine, but I don't think that currently I help you out it, but let me try it out it. So this willingness to be vulnerable is something very important for a leader, and not positioning oneself as the he-man, which is very important.
Who knows everything. So this I'm able to relate, because at times there needs to be decision taken even without having full information. So we have to be comfortable in making those decisions with whatever information that we have. Okay, and Professor, I know you're leading talent management programs within as part of the executive MBA and other programs as well. So I'm curious to get some insights on talent management from your experience. When you look at organizations today, where do you see the bigger gap? Is that in the quality of the talent, or the structure, the system that supposed to enable the talent?
I think organizations and talent both are in a great hurry, and it is partly because of the globalization. Organizations at one level find that there are great opportunities and great challenges, and they want to capture those new opportunities because very strong belief, and partly right, that if you are not among the top 2-3 in a given industry, you are likely to be out of business. Talent also has the same concern that if I'm not growing very fast, I'll become part of the history. And as a result of that, both are there in the future. Both are not there here and now. And as a result of that, the quality of communications, quality of interpersonal connections are very, very weak. The organization, the leadership is too concerned to be in the external environment, create and capture those new possibilities, new opportunities, new customers. Talent is also there in the organization, but also looking at new possibilities across the globe for that matter. And that cuts down the possibilities for the leader and the team members to be in touch with each other. And because they are not in touch with each other, there is hardly any impact on the talent from the leadership. Talent feels hardly any obligations towards the leader and the organization, and he feels or she feels comfortable to move wherever they feel there are greater possibilities.
So, Professor, in that rush, I mean, do you think that what matters that most in talent management is that retaining people for long, or continuously renewing the talent pool for new perspectives?
I think we should start from where we are in terms of taking responsibility to enhance the capabilities and competencies of the team members. It is very difficult to make a statement that I can go in the market and pick up the guys who exactly will meet my requirements. even if you can get very competent persons in terms of technology and possibly domain expertise as well, the understanding of the new person about the organizational culture and the way things happen there, the organizational structure and systems, will take a much longer amount of time. And then he comes with a much higher level of expectations, because he is a high performer. Otherwise, there is no business for you to take him from another place. And he will take a risk of leaving a job where he has his branding and he's creating performance for a substantially higher remuneration, rewards, maybe a title. As compared to that, if even you spend half of the time on the existing talent, I think we can enhance their competencies and capabilities much better, and they will be able to create performance. But getting talent from outside is the responsibility of HR. Investing time in the existing team members in terms of coaching them is the responsibility of leadership.
The leaders.
So I don't want to make my hand dirty, being with the team members. I feel I will do something more important. And partly the leaders are reluctant to do coaching because they don't have that competencies. And it's not that they can't learn it, but they need to nurture that mindset where they believe that is part of my responsibility to develop my team members, help them to acquire new bundle of competencies, and hopefully the things should improve.
Okay. Now, yesterday and this morning we had a lot of discussions about artificial intelligence, automation. Now, with AI and automation changing the nature of work, now what human capabilities that the talent management needs to focus in the next 5 to 10 years?
Being able to appreciate that AI is a good source of information. To extend it, AI is a good source of knowledge and very easily accessible, and also very fast in terms of responding to your needs. But you must remember that in every situation, you are the decision maker. So you must take the responsibility to integrate the information available from multiple sources, like from the customers, from your team members, from AI, understand what the information is saying to you, and then take responsibility to make the decisions. You cannot say that AI told me. The decision will carry your name. And we of course know that occasionally AI does hallucination. As academicians, we have a research assistant. We take their help. Intelligent research assistant make our life much better. But end of the day, the paper carries my name, and I am responsible for whatever is being said there. Unless until I put the name of my research assistant as well, but that will also be second author. I will be still first author. And to that extent, I have learned that's very important that in the field of knowledge, we understand what we are trying to communicate it, get convinced that what I'm saying is right, whether this information is coming from a research assistant or from AI, or from any other source. But we have got to look at AI as a good library, an intelligent research assistant who makes my life simpler, easier if I give right kind of prompts. But at least at the moment, we can't make AI as decision makers. And if it can make decision, then why are you there? Because if you come with this conviction that everything can be done by AI, and if your bosses start believing that what has been supplied by you, essentially what is supplied by you through AI, they will say, thank you so much, it was nice to have you. So if you have this belief that everything you are doing can be done by AI, that day you have made yourself redundant. But I genuinely believe that at the moment, the kind of capabilities which AI has got it, multiple versions of AI which are available in the market, are very powerful, but they have their limitations. And that is where talent will have a role to play in terms of integrating information available from multiple sources and making decisions and taking responsibility for those decisions.
Having that appropriate human intervention.
Absolutely, is very essential.
That's very essential. Professor, you have the privilege of very closely working with young aspiring adults, and as well as the executives. I just wanted to know, what is that one common blind spot that you see that as a pattern which the young managers or the MBA graduates have, especially in their first role of leadership?
As I said, today everybody seems to be in a great hurry.
Okay.
And a certain amount of overestimation of self, a certain amount of humility, genuinely believing that in a variety of situations, I am a service provider and somebody who is using my services is my customer. Building that humility that I must listen to him and understand what are his requirements will go a long way, whether you are an adult, of course as a professional, young professional or an experienced professional, to make a difference in the given setting. For a variety of reasons, today both young and professionals who got experience are engaged in multiple tasks, multiple environment, multiple situations using multiple media sources, and that's where you don't communicate to the person that I'm with you at the moment, and that is something very important. You're talking to the client but also looking at your laptop for that matter. It kind of hurts. You wonder whether is he listening to me. If you go to a doctor and doctor parallelly keeps talking on the phone, one is not going to feel very good about it.
Okay. The dedicated focus is important.
Showing concern for the client, and genuinely, because your ability to add value is a function of did you correctly understand the requirement of the client.
This reminds me, this is something that I always tell my teams as well, having that willingness to support and learn. Because although we could be experts, it is our clients who helps us with the blind spots and the business requirements.
Absolutely. So I also believe that whether I'm in a class for that matter or in a consultancy assignment, if my class and my consultant believe that I understand their requirements, they give me a decent mark just to start with. That yes, Professor Agarwal, I understood, you have understood my problem. This is exactly my problem. When we go to a doctor and doctor listens to us and then he says, I think you have got this problem. And if patient believes that the doctor has understood his or her problem, I think they are willing to give lot much more freedom to the doctor to decide the next course of action. As a consultant also, when I visit the organizations and try to understand their problems, their challenges, new possibilities, and when I communicate to them that this is my understanding of your challenges, and if I correctly understood it, they said, yeah, exactly, this is my problem, Professor. And I have learned that as a consultant, never give a surprise and see to it that everybody who is part of that organization is your client, your customer. Have respect to them, listen to them, try to understand the situation from multiple perspectives. And even in terms of solutions, see to it that before you make a final presentation, everybody has kind of seen it and in agreement with you to the extent possible.
Yeah, so no surprises in the last final presentation. So
absolutely, and having that mindset that my ability to add value is a function of did I correctly do the diagnostics in a given situation. Firstly, did I facilitate the client to be in touch with one's own situation and the problem, and then me being able to understand what exactly are their challenges.
Okay. Professor, if a 21-year-old comes to you and then say, sir, I want to be successful in my career, at the same time I don't want to lose myself in that process, what advice would you give to him?
Success depends upon having clarity about what is your vision. Where do you aspire to be?
Okay.
So typically my students, I tell them that think of a dream organization you wish to work for them, a dream role for that matter.
Okay.
And think through what new bundle of competencies you require it. And if they can very vividly visualize themselves in the role which they aspire to play, the organization they want to work for, the team members will be part of that, and the definition of performance in that particular role. And with that awareness, if they can think through what new bundle of competencies I am going to require it, to what extent I am ready to play that role, can they make a statement to themselves that yes, I aspire to work for this financial organization in this new technology field, and I am 50%, 60% ready.
Okay.
I think organizations know that technology is evolving very fast. And to that extent, nobody is going to be perfectly ready. But nobody want to start from the 0th level.
Yeah.
So you must communicate to your client, to your bosses, that yes, I am ready 60%. I'm willing to learn, and I'm one person who can learn rather fast.
Yeah.
And that is what will create new possibilities and opportunities for you to work on the challenges which are important for you.
Yeah. So having that clarity and good preparation for where you want to reach.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. And Professor, you have spent a lifetime in education, and if young adults wanted to really keep themselves as a lifelong learners, what should they do differently?
As I said, first of all, clarity about what new roles they aspire to play,
Okay.
but also keeping a record of what is that I have already learned.
Okay.
In every engagement, there are a whole lot of experiences. Many times you succeed, but occasionally you may not succeed. But creating a space for reflection and being able to communicate to yourself that what is that which made me succeed.
Okay.
And that is that I have learned that every time when I am visiting a client organization, I must have that humility to listen to the customer. I go with my expertise, and that's why they call me.
Yeah.
But every client has a unique challenge and opportunities. So I must start from where the client is.
Okay.
This simple aspect goes a very long way to help me experience success.
Okay. Okay. Professor, if I ask you a leadership book that you really wish more people read and also follow that in leadership, what would that be?
Well, there are n number of books. Leadership is subject typically from in the field of management, 30s onwards, when Kurt Lewin did his initial experiments on Kurt Lewin leadership styles. There are thousands and thousands of books. But as a leader, it's very important for you to understand yourself, and that's where I suppose literature plays a very vital role. That's where spending some time with yourself, meditation can make a lot much more difference.
Wow.
So I don't want to recommend a book, but you need to create space where you can communicate to yourself what is that I value, what's very important for me, what are my strengths, what are my some of the limitations, and with that awareness, in any role for that matter, you will do a good job of it.
So that time to take reflect and being self-aware is
Very important. Very important.
quality.
Yeah. Of course, there has been a whole lot of writers whom I quite liked it. Warren Bennis, for that matter, Chris Ives, McGregor, the work of Peter Senge on creating learning organizations. They are all very interesting, very inspiring. But in addition to all the literature in the field of management, going back to Indian Upanishads for that matter, where we talk about that I am Brahman. You are the God. You are the Brahm, not God. You are the Brahm. You are part of something much larger.
Okay.
This simple awareness that I am part of something larger, I as well as my team for that matter, you will not place yourself at a higher level because I am part of Brahm and you are part of Brahm.
Okay.
And that awareness that we all belong to something much larger will create much greater acceptance. We often talk in the field of management that hierarchy, distorts the communication. But if you go with this mindset, which is there in the Indian philosophy, I think it will take you very far in terms of actively listening, understanding, and being with your team members.
I think this perspective dilutes that identity, self-identity, and being
Right. In fact, leadership is being able to hold that team identity. And if team believes that my leader holds the team identity, he is not operating from a pedestal, I think it goes a very long way to your acceptance and your ability to contribute towards the success of the team. So, dissolving the ego and owning up the task which belongs to the team goes a very long way. Otherwise, ego cuts down the possibilities for effective communications with the team.
Okay, great. Thank you, Professor. And what would be one leadership belief that you had 25 years ago, which you no longer agree with?
It's a very interesting question. In fact, I didn't think of very many beliefs as a leader. I thought I'm there, I have a task to perform, and if that means I got to hold hands with my team members, I will hold hands with them, go along with them, make them feel that all tasks are equally important. I remember way back in 1979, there was a strike and all my employees were on leave, and I learned to drive three-wheeler and drove the three-wheeler across the division to move the material from one place to another place. So the point I'm trying to make is that the things keep changing in terms of the team members, their beliefs, their aspirations. The environment is changing, technology is changing, and to that extent you must be adaptable, you must be prepared to learn.
Okay.
Now today a typical team member of generation G is very preoccupied with technology and multiple other aspects.
Okay.
So it is very understandable that he is not going to take efforts to know you, communicate to you that you are my leader. Now if you want to work along with him,
Okay.
occasionally take the initiative to go and say hello to you and say, I want to learn about this particular new field in which I don't have any field. Would you help me to learn about it? Or can I do something for you? So this fact that today younger generation is very preoccupied with multiple other aspects.
Okay.
And with accepting that as a reality, that as a leader I don't have absolute power. In the past also no leader had absolute power.
Okay.
But there are less distortions, less distractions for the team members, as a result of which they were with the leader for much longer.
Okay.
But today I think generation G, partly also I think in my time we grew up in joint families, and we had no choice but to listen to anybody and everybody who was slightly older than me. And that was being told to us that respect anybody who is older than you, and we listened possibly. Okay.
Yeah.
That mindset also carried to the classes. We listened to our teachers and question them a little less, we can say. But today's generation G has been brought up by a dual career couple who possibly has just one child, and all the things which the child required was provided to him or her by parents, and as a result of which he takes for granted everything which we aspired for, and hence he is very preoccupied with self and what is important for you. And as a leader, as a result of that, one may not give enough time to somebody in the position of authority, so called. So in fact, as a leader, in the past also you had not much authority, but today it is much less.
Yes. Yeah.
So I have got to accept that nobody is going to listen to me because I have got authority, because I am in a position. They will listen to me if they start realizing that I have something interesting to help them experience success, help them learn. So whether I go to a classroom or whether I was there in a corporate world, I got to start with the mindset, how can I help this person?
Yeah.
And that requires you to invest time to understand the other person, and if you understand the person, your ability to contribute to the success of the person is much higher, and there is a greater acceptance for you. So as a leaders, don't believe that you'll get accepted because you have that positional authority.
Yes. Yeah.
People don't care about it. The talent today knows that they have become part of the global world, and if they know what they believe they know it, they can create a space for themselves anywhere in the world.
Yeah. It is about how willing the leaders are to be more inclusive and open to support and learn from them as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That mindset that I want to learn from my team members. We are equal partner in the process of learning. I'll bring my experiences, my learning. He will bring his experiences, his learning. Together we will create something interesting.
Then the real collaboration happens.
Absolutely. That's very important.
Yeah. Professor, what do you think, what do you hope that your students and your participants will remember about you in 10 years from now?
Well, before 10 years who passed, do remember me for the learning diaries, for creating space for reflections. And of course, I brought some fun in their life in terms of the experiential exercises. Occasionally, when I had carried a food for them, like a gawa,
Yeah.
they remember it. So, it is important for you as a teacher to see that you help the persons to grow up, and toward that end, use mechanisms to help them be in touch with their learning. And if they believe that you help them to learn and create performance, they are going to feel good about it and bring some fun. And since you raised this question, very recently, in the month of February, I was interacting with executive MBA participants. One participant had some problem with his immediate boss. When I was sitting in my class, I was talking about managing interpersonal relations, and I said that never undermine the boss. He has much more information, much more responsibility than you. And if you have superior relationship with your boss, you are going to feel very powerful. Learn to respect the boss, think through what unique capabilities he has got it and how can you benefit from that.
Okay.
That participant asked me a couple of questions during the tea break. He again came to me, clarified a few things, and then said, I must talk to my boss. And after 5 minutes he came back and said, thanks professor, I'm very happy. I talked to my boss and said, I'm sorry because I was making his life miserable for my promotion.
Okay.
And I felt that he was unfair to me, but I realized that he has more information and he's genuinely concerned about me. I was feeling very bad that I had missed a person who was my friend. But your suggestion that I must take initiative to improve the quality of relationship, I feel very important. Thank you so much. So I'm saying that if when you're in the class, you facilitate the participants to be in the class and then take that learning back in the work setting.
Yeah.
And learning is the one which facilitates you to behave differently. And if as a result of you interaction with you, your participant believe that, my participant believe that yes, it made a change to their life, they will remember me.
Yeah. And Professor, saying that I always remember your kindness, your humility, and your deep passion about learning and also supporting others. So thank you so much for your time, your generosity, and your wisdom. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Felix. It has been wonderful being with you, and we look forward to continue our relationship.